Hello and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. My name's Colette and I'm here today to do this new moon in Aries video. Usually I would do the astrology part of the video first, but today I'm doing it the other way around. So this is the tarot part of the two-part that I do for the new and the full moons. And as I said, this new moon is taking place in Aries. So if you're interested in more of the astrology side of it, then check out my video that I will be putting out after this for more information on the astrological picture, although some of that may come into play in the tarot reading itself as well. What else was I going to say? Oh, if you are interested in the astrology side and you don't know your own rising sign or your moon sign, there is a link in the description box down below for you to go and check that out as well. This is a collective Aries new moon tarot reading, and I'm going to start it off with cards from the Angel script. And strangely enough, I got two cards fall out for this particular reading, which kind of for me represent two of the big energies that are taking place at this time in the sky. We've got a Neptune and Jupiter conjunction that are coming together and are going to be exact on the 12th of April. And we've also got the Saturn squaring the nodes energy, which is going to be taking place, or is taking place, but it's going to be exact with Mars conjunct on the 4th and the 5th of April as well. So that's going to be quite an intense and heavy energy that we're going to experience, the 4th and the 5th, Mars and the Mars Saturn conjunction squaring, T-squaring the moon's nodes. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about because you're more interested in the tarot than the astrology, I do apologise, but I do feel that it's very much to do with the energy of these two cards that I've brought, or that fell out for me earlier today when I was shuffling for us. And so I thought I would bring that in. So the Oriole card, the first card, is the card of Tenderness. And this is the card that I feel is very much the Jupiter-Neptune energy, the higher frequency, very high vibrating frequency energy that we're all going to experience and are experiencing already. But it talks about Oriole as the gentle mother who nurtures us with care and tenderness and watches over the soft cradle of the manifest world. The kingdom exists in a delicate balance, moving between life and death, creation and decay. Every creature and plant is nurtured by the invisible mother who lovingly encourages growth. When life is threatened, this tenderness heals and repairs, persistent in the knowledge that love can mend all hurts. We also actually do have Chiron conjunct this new moon as well, so he is also playing a very big part in a healing process that is taking place with us at this time as well. So the human heart can be strong, but sometimes we lose sight of the capacity to give and receive tenderness. We engage our thoughts with a desire for truth and enlightenment, hoping that insight will come to us if we work inwardly on our own shortcomings. We are all children of the universe, and while we should be concerned with unfolding our individual purposes, the universe has an overarching purpose. The creative intelligence which established the kingdom seeks to bring it to perfection. Oriole's role is to gently but firmly bring back the lost sheep, to pacify the lion, and to soothe the troubled hearts of all who suffer. If we let go of our guilt, of our resentments, of the sadness which we carry like a load on our shoulders, we will feel the tenderness which Oriole offers, and our tears will be washed away. And Neptune is seen as that higher, unconditional love energy as well, which is why I kind of feel that it has got a part to play here in that energy, the Oriole card. And it's followed by Samael, which is adversity, which is very much the Saturn energy. So Samael tests our diligence and our dedication. Samael provides boundaries and limitations in order that we may grow in strength and purpose. This archangel strips away the old and the useless. It encourages new beginnings by pruning dead wood from the tree, which is the energy that we are in at this time. The Aries new moon is all about new beginnings. We learn how best to develop our gifts when the teacher insists that we make progress, even at those times when we feel inclined to rest on laurels already gained. That is very Saturn energy. Saturn is the hard taskmaster teacher. Samael does not permit laziness. It insists on hard work and commitment to the goal. Meeting Samael is like meeting a parent who wishes the best for us and delivers stern advice. We will not be allowed to stumble or falter, since the parent who insists on growth and progress has our best interests at heart. We may feel tasks have been set which are too difficult, but we are never asked to undertake the impossible, and we will always be supported in equal proportion to our own effort. That is very much the Saturn energy as well. What you put in, you will get out. Samael is tempered, still, strong and inflexible. It creates girders for the building of our bridges, and those structures will hold fast against decay. Storms and earthquakes cannot shift the products of hearts who have laboured diligently. Samael provides firm foundations on which to build a city of light. When we are asked to work, we must join in with delight. The master only becomes a foe when agreements are broken and commitments are unfulfilled. Samael blocks a free passage only when we have chosen the wrong path. Adversity becomes necessity only in the face of our own foolishness. Then we are corrected, and that which seemed difficult is smoothed away. And that's interesting because April the 1st, of course, is April Fool's Day. So I also would just like to say as well that for other places in the world, this new moon is taking place on the 31st of March rather than on the... Whoops, sorry about that. I'm just going to have to pick that up and see if I can get it to stay on there. It's difficult when there's two of them to get them to stand. So you go there and you go there, and they may not stay. Aha, that's better. Hopefully they'll stay there. So yeah, other places in the world, as I was saying, it's the 31st of March that this new moon is taking place. So, settle myself back down again. First card that we're starting with today for the Aries new moon is the Empress. New, birth. The Empress talks of potential, and Aries energy is also very much about potential. New beginning, new growth, new start, new world. Interesting there that her belly is actually a depiction of the world itself, giving birth to something, creating something completely new. And that really is what's happening at this time in our lives as well. A new world is being born. We are creating this new world. We are moving into this new world. We're coming out of the age of Pisces. So the Empress card is very fitting. It also kind of fits in with the Oriole mother energy there as well. And we have the Six of Wands as the challenging card, and this is victory. So this is about creating something. It feels like this is about like actually bringing something to completion, and celebrating that completion. If you see there, she's standing on the stage, she's in the spotlight, her arms are up, she's accepting her applause, her accolades. So with the Six of Wands over the top of the Empress card here, for me what it's saying is that this is what we're heading towards. This is what we're working towards achieving at this time. Each and every one of us has a new goal. And now is the time to plant the seeds for this new beginning, literally. Springtime, always a good time to plant seeds. But also metaphysically as well, to bring in what it is that we want to achieve for the rest of 2022 and also into 2023. So this is very much about looking ahead into our future. This is a major arcana card, so this is big energy. And this is saying that we do have the ability to make this a victory here. There is victory in our grasp, if you like. There is a recognition as we move out of the difficulty. This is a new earth being born. And in our heads and what we're aware of, we have the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles is in reverse here. And that's interesting as well, because there's a lot happening with the Venus energy right now, with the North Node. Again, I'm talking astrology because it kind of all fits in together for me. The North Node being in Taurus, which is the Venus-ruled sign, which is kind of this is the Venus energy. The Empress is the Venus energy, the world, the garden of delights. This is the North Node in Taurus as well. But Taurus is also about our financial stability. And with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse here, this is saying that something is going to become very unstable, or is already very unstable, and maybe we're just kind of, because this is the head energy, the placement that it's in, it's what we're becoming aware of, or what we are aware of, is that there is instability within the financial world, within our own world. Inflation, prices, not being able to afford the lifestyle that we've had previously. There is a sense of the need for frugality with this card when it's in reverse as well. Rather than there being an abundance of things, it talks about more of a lack of resources, because this is also the resources card, as of course is this card here. But when she's upright, she does talk about new abundance that we have yet to realize or to acknowledge. So in the past and what's moving away, we have the King of Pentacles. So again, that's interesting because this is Pentacles, and for me it feels like with these two cards together that something is coming to an end, that we are aware, because the King is the energy of completion, really. He's like, you see that he's very mature, he's reached his age of maturity and his success, and he's now able to relax and enjoy the rewards of the labour that he's had to put in order to be able to build his kingdom, because the King of Pentacles is very much about the physical realm, the material realm. He's built his kingdom. He's looking very content, pleased with himself. But this energy is moving away. So this is kind of saying to me that this is how it has been, and now there is something that is shifting here. There is a shifting of energies. As underneath in our subconscious, we have the Ten of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles is about a new seed being planted, a new idea, new growth. Taking things to another level. All the pages are young energy, so they're still waiting. It's like the Page of Pentacles is waiting to become this king. He has yet to experience the same things that this king has learnt, his knowledge and his wisdom. The page has yet to learn those things to become wise. This is business energy, this is financial energy, this is entrepreneurial energy, and this is learning. But we have the Ten of Cups here as well, and the Ten of Cups is the emotional support that we need in order to be able to get to where we want to go. And you can see that the two people are sitting there. There's like this rainbow swirl that kind of surrounds them, this happiness, this kind of like contentment of achievement there as well, because tens are always about completion. But it feels, because this is on the deeper subconscious realm that we're experiencing this, it feels like I was saying, like an emotional support. Like realizing that we're all kind of needing to support each other as we move ahead. In order to help things to grow. It could also be an element of legacy within this card as well, with the Ten of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. It's usually the energy of the Ten of Pentacles, but it's kind of coming through with this Ten of Cups here as well, like the happy home, the happy family, what it is that we're going to be able to leave them in the future. What is the world that we are going to leave for them in the future? As we move forward. And we have, as we move forward, the Two of Wands in reverse. And the Two of Wands in reverse is saying to me that there is this inspirational idea. There is something that we are, because she's sitting next to this window and she's looking out of this window. So it looks to me like she's looking for inspiration. She's hoping that something is going to change, that inspiration is going to come to her. Again, we have the World down here as well. If you see that globe. So it is about inspiration. It's about wanting something new to come in, waiting for something new to come in, waiting for change, waiting for inspiration, waiting for the idea to know what we are supposed to be doing next. But it seems, because it's in reverse, it seems like it's a long time coming. Oh, there's a block on inspiration at this time. But we do have the Chariot, which is very much about forward motion. This is the energy of Mars, Aries energy. I know a lot of people see this as the Cancer energy, and I have spoken about this before, but personally I see this more as the Mars forward movement. Very direct, very fast moving when it's in the upright position. Balancing, keeping things steady, not going too far to one side or the other side. Middle path energy. Not overindulging, not being too tight with ourselves or harsh on ourselves. Taking the reins, being our masters of our own destiny. And it's come out with the Ace of Swords in reverse. And this is the energy of where we are at this time. So it kind of feels to me as though we may feel as though we're just going over the same old ground, because with this spiral here, it's like just going round and round and round. But of course the spiral takes you elsewhere eventually. So it is about kind of a leveling up. But her eyes are closed and it's in reverse. So it feels, if I put it with this Two of Wands as well, it feels as though there is this kind of stop. Or just feeling like, yeah, it kind of just feels like going over that same, like here we go again kind of energy. Here we go again. Like we feel as though we're kind of moving forward and we're full steam ahead and everything's going in direct motion. And then we kind of find ourselves going over the same ground. Going back to where we started. So, and the thing about the spiral, of course, is that it spirals up. So you kind of go up. But for some reason, for this particular, it's like going down the spiral instead of going up the spiral. We feel as though we're going down the spiral. So we feel as though we're getting nowhere is kind of what it feels like. Getting nowhere. And that's kind of what I feel that this is about as well. This kind of like just having to wait patiently for that inspiration, for that change. So two interesting cards have come out in the place of our environment, how other people see us. So this is like the collective energy of what we're experiencing at this time, if you like, how we are all seeing the collective energy. With the star here, we are connecting. There is a big shift of energy, and this feels very much like that Jupiter, Neptune conjunction that's about to take place. because it is like opening ourselves up to something much, much bigger, much, much bigger. And in doing so, we have this tower energy. So there's like this lightning strike on this tower. Tower energy is always kind of getting rid of that structure around us, that old structure, the old conditioning, what no longer works for us, what's no longer helping us. But there's a similarity, there's something here between this here and this here. How she's holding, looks to me like a balloon in a way, like she's realizing her connection, or we're beginning to realize our connection. There's something much bigger going on here, something much bigger that we can't even begin to understand yet. As we move towards this huge conjunction that's going to be taking place with Neptune and Jupiter. Jupiter being the planet of hope and joy and optimism, expansion, and Neptune being the planet of, on a higher octave, Neptune is very much about unconditional love and trust, spiritual. It's a very spiritual energy, a higher energy, a higher, much finer energy. It's also mystery, it's the unknown. And there's also these butterflies on here as well. And butterflies are symbolic of transformation, of things changing. And the tower, when the tower comes in, things change very fast, very quickly. So that could also be what this is talking about, this sudden change, this unexpected sudden change, a realization. There's a massive change and realization coming up. Huge, huge. And it's funny because I keep getting this image of Jupiter, and I've had it for a while now, of Jupiter kind of just expanding and expanding and expanding like this big balloon, and it's just going to burst, like metaphorically, of course. But it's like this bursting as it connects with Neptune, it just bursts, and all of this energy just gets released. Is how I'm seeing this, and I think that's what this tower energy is about. Sudden, unexpected change of direction, of connection, of discovery. Something big. Something big is coming our way. Very big. In our hopes and our fears, we have the 8 of Wands, which is in reverse, and the 7 of Swords, which is upright. So the 8 of Wands normally talks about incoming messages, incoming communication. But when it's in reverse, it can also be blocked or slow to arrive. And it feels as though it has something to do with this here and this here as well. Because this almost feels like we're getting to the point where we kind of know that something's changing here, because this is our deeper subconscious. We're beginning to pick up on something on a deeper level. But But with this Seven of Swords here as well, this is the card of deception. It can also be the card of manipulation. And also, if you see here, you can see his shadow energy as well on the ground there with this big full moon. Maybe this has got something to do with the full moon that is going to be taking place on the 16th of April, which will be just after the conjunction with Jupiter and Neptune. But there's something about this bird here, this beak really wide open, like it's giving a warning about something here. A warning sound. And he's got a knife in his hand here, and he's got all these feathers kind of falling out the back of his rucksack that he's carrying. So there is a warning element in this card of not trusting. Maybe not trusting what we're hearing. This is our hopes and our fears, so it's not actual reality. But the more we focus on this energy, the more we're likely to manifest it as a collective energy as well. So this could also be to do with what we hear media-wise, mistrusting. Don't ignore the warnings, is what's coming through here. Don't ignore the warnings. That's what I've just been given. Don't ignore the warnings. Whatever those warnings may be individually in our lives, don't ignore them. Don't block them out, because they're very important at this time. And to trust our inner gut feeling on these things. And the last card that we have here is the Emperor energy. I know a lot of people see this as the Mars or Aries energy. Again, personally, I always see this as Leo energy, because I think that Leo, the lion, is more of the kind of the emperor type of energy, in the sense of being the king of the beasts, so to speak. And you don't get any higher than like an emperor. If you think of the old style of emperors, nobody argued with the emperor, particularly when he's upright and very much in his power. And this is kind of what I'm feeling from this card here, is this is us stepping into that place of power. And you can see there he's got this chess piece in his hand, and he's sitting on a planet. It's not the Earth, probably Mars actually, looking at it. It probably would be Mars. So the Mars energy is very dynamic, it's very action orientated, it's very much about building our sovereign self. It's very self-identity connected. It's all about the self. It's all about, but not necessarily in a selfish way, but it is about, it feels like taking back our power, and no longer allowing ourselves to be a chess piece on the board. Because if you see there at the bottom, there is this kind of red and black checkered checkered floor down here, which could almost look like it's kind of blood stained as well, which is interesting because Mars is connected to blood. It rules the blood, which is why there's that kind of Mars being and Aries being hot-headed, Or like when the blood rises in battle, you can get that kind of blood fever, which I think was known as berserkers. When that kind of energy hit, they would just completely lose it. But yeah, I mean, this Emperor looks very relaxed, almost like he's expecting the next move on the board, like the next the next move. But it feels like a positive card. It doesn't feel like a negative card. It doesn't feel as though that it's controlling, or it feels much more like it's about us taking our power back. And like I was saying, no longer willing to be just a chess piece that gets moved around on the chessboard of life. Finding our own emperor within us, male or female, doesn't make any difference. Finding that strength and courage to step into who we are meant to be, our purpose, our reason for being. So let's see what we have for the confirmation energy here for this new moon in Aries on the 1st or the 31st of March, 1st of April. We have the 10 of Cups in reverse. We have the Knight of Wands in reverse and the Queen of Swords in reverse. And that's over the top of this energy here. Now, 10 of Chalices, I mean, it's come out already down here. That's twice it's come out, but once we've got it upright, and here we've got it in reverse. So there is a sense of loss when the 10 of Chalices is upside down, because usually it implies that sense of contentment and building something with somebody in the sense of emotional support, emotional, like meaningful, something meaningful, a meaningful experience. Or experiences, because it can take a lot to get to that place, to get to the 10 of Cups. But when it's in reverse, especially with this one here, that it feels like there's a lot of kind of sorrow, a sense of sorrow and sadness. And like, if you look carefully, there's actually 2 people on that tree. Bit difficult to see there, but there is 2 people sitting on the branch of that tree. And there's all these wine glasses hanging off of it as well. So there's something kind of melancholy about that card when it's in reverse. With the Knight of Wands as well in reverse. the Knight of Wands is seen as somebody who's very much a player energy. The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence with the Knight of Wands. It's like somebody who has lots of inspirational ideas, is very inspiring as a person, but at the same time they're not very committed. It's not a committed energy. And it's come out over the top of this very powerful Empress energy. So this could just be what we're coming out of, this feeling of, again, it just feels like kind of despondency, and it's a bit gloomy and a bit despairing, to be honest with you, is what's coming through here. Sense of desperation, or yeah, despairing. And particularly with the Queen of Swords in reverse here as well. Because she can be very harsh and very brutal. Especially when she's in reverse. Lack of communication. Lack of sorry to just sit here and stare at them for a bit, but I'm trying to get something and I'm not quite sure what it is. There's a coldness. Yeah, there's a harshness, a brutalness about this card. And this could just be what we're coming out of. This period of time that we've been in has been harsh, it has been despairing, and it has been kind of a sense of lacking motivation, inspiration. So let's see why the Ace of Pentacles is here. We have the Ace of Wands, which is a very inspiring energy. It's like seeing the light is what I'm getting from this, seeing the light. New growth, new ideas, new visions, just very inspirational. New is what I'm getting, just new. And it's over the top of this Ace of Pentacles. So there is something new coming. There is this change that is going to be taking place within, I feel, that kind of monetary system. Also, because this also relates not only to the monetary system, but kind of banking system, and that relates to everything. Everything that we own, everything that we value is all linked in. And there is this change coming, there is this inspiration, there is this new energy coming in. And it almost looks, I was kind of looking closer, but all these flowers here almost look like, if you look closer, they almost look like there's a mound or something, and this is kind of stuck into this mound, but it almost feels like it's kind of lifting out of this mound of flowers, like growth, something. Something new is growing. Something new is growing. As we also have the King of Pentacles here as well, and he's upright in this particular card, even though he doesn't look like it because he's standing on his head. But I see this card in this deck as the king, or this character, male or female, doesn't make any difference, but this character as being very what's the word I'm looking for? Not just confident, but he's kind of like successful at what he's just done. It's like, look at me, look how look at what I'm doing. I mean, he's literally standing, doing a handstand on the bull's horns as he kind of enters. And there's a lot of growth in this card. There's a lot of nurturing. There's a lot of well-being, I always think, in that card. And so the King of Pentacles, again, we've got him here. But in this one, he kind of is old. He's past his best, shall we say. He's kind of more grandfather age. So he's kind of looking at that kind of retirement stage, even though he doesn't look very grandfathery in his actual. But he's got white hair and a big white beard, but in this one it's like something new. It's like youthful again. It's like full of vitality and change. And the Pentacles energy doesn't like change. Taurus doesn't like change. In particular, out of all of the earth signs, which is what this energy represents, the grounding earth signs, Taurus in particular does not like change. And that is very much the Taurus energy that we are seeing there. And of course we have Uranus in Taurus as well, so change is coming. Uranus in Taurus, that's kind of change that you can't stop. You can't hold it back. It's happening. Whether we like it, whether we don't like it, it's coming. There is new energy coming in to change and shift the old paradigm of how we have been dealing with monetary, financial systems in particular, I feel, with these cards. And then we have the Queen of Chalices, and she's upright. And I see this as kind of literally pouring out. It's like pouring out because there's fishes in this waterfall as well. There's like life, there's like new again. It's like pouring out. It's very Piscean in that sense as well. All the water signs, the Queen of Chalices. So yeah, it's like that similar thing that I was saying, that once it starts, you can't stop it. It's just going to become a flood. It's just going to It's just going to kind of flood in, but it's not a bad energy, because Queen of Chalices is love. It's the heart energy, the Queen of Chalices. She is the heart, she is compassion, she is kindness, she is that tenderness. Particularly when she's upright, she wants to share with everybody, which is why this water falls into, or this waterfall here falls into that water down at the bottom. Is kind of representing, for me today, it's representing the Piscean energy of the kind of mass consciousness. And we have the Hangman, which is often seen as a card of new perception, new perspective. In this deck, it's kind of, again, it's kind of Piscean energy. It's surrendering, letting go, and just allowing what's going to be, not trying to fight it, not trying to change it, stop it, because it's, you can't really, we can't. But I also feel that this is like the old energy again. We can see where all these fish are kind of nibbling at this body that's floating. Presume they're piranhas. They look very piranha-like, and they're just kind of eating the old. Symbolically speaking, that body kind of represents what is no longer alive. Literally, what's no longer alive. It's reached a point of no return. You can't bring that body back to life. One reason being that it doesn't have a head anymore, but also symbolically it's just like it has past its best. A bit like the King of Pentacles over there, although he hasn't quite left the scene yet. And we also have the Page of Pentacles after that as well. And I see this as an energy of us relearning about our emotional connection to things. About how our emotions are, because it's a page, it's a new, well, a young energy. Again, it's that energy that needs to learn about itself as it grows in order to be able to mature. And so it's like we need to bring love into the equation, because there's not a lot of love involved in the monetary banking world at all. It is not run on kindness or thought for others or consideration for people's personal situations. But that may be a difficult concept because the Page of Chalices is in reverse, and it has been that way for so many centuries now, of there being no emotional understanding in the banking world when it comes to finances and money and how people's lives are affected by all of that. So let's see why the King of Pentacles is here for this new moon in Aries. King of Pentacles, the old wise king who's reached his day, had his time, needs to step away, is what's coming through. I keep getting lots of different cards, like all coming out at once. So yeah, the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords upright. That is implying to me that it is time to end something here. Something needs to come to an end, a conclusion. As painful as it may be for some, I mean, this character here has been completely stabbed multiple times by these swords, and he's being carried away by this big bird here. It kind of giving me feelings with this Hangman energy as well. Of like, yeah, I mean, he's been stabbed so many times, although it's probably not completely, I don't know. It looks pretty lethal to me. It looks pretty like, if you look at all those swords, it's like he's not going to survive all of those woundings. So the Queen of Pentacles has also come out here in reverse as well. And the Queen of Pentacles is usually an energy of somebody who is very, getting the word magnanimous, very caring, very sharing, very nurturing, very homely, but she is in reverse. And so when she's in reverse, it is kind of like, you know, what's mine is mine. And that's interesting that we've got the King of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse all together. It does feel like there is this need for this ending. And we have the Four of Swords in reverse as well. So the Four of Swords in reverse is an energy of needing to rethink, regroup, recuperate, like not to take action on something at this time. And this is all the energy that's moving away. It could also be with the Four of Swords, it could also be things happening kind of taking place behind closed doors that we're not necessarily aware of, especially with this shadow energy over here as well. This card of don't trust, mistrust, heed the warnings energy. Of course, Pentacles is also to do with our well-being, as I was saying. It's also to do with our food. systems as well, which things are also changing at this time around all of that. Okay, we've got another. Oh my goodness, really? Really? Okay, so Ten of Cups and the Page of Pentacles in our deep subconscious. And also in our deep subconscious we have the Ace of Swords in reverse. Ace of Swords, all the aces are a new energy. That's the third ace that's come out. Yeah, we've got the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, and now the Ace of Swords. Swords, clarity, it's also communication, but there's also a truth about the Ace of Swords as well. It's like a truth, a beginning of something that is being revealed, but it's in reverse. So rather than it being revealed and seen, it's like it's frozen. There's something frozen about this energy. There's something that's kind of stuck. And we have the Fool in reverse as well. So there is that stuckness there. Not being able to go forward, not trusting. Not yet ready to take that leap of trust, that leap of faith. And we also have the Ace of Chalices. So that's all the aces come out, which is interesting because this is all about the new moon. And in Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, it is the astrological beginning of the new year, which happened on the vernal spring equinox on the 20th of March. So this is the first new moon in the cycle of the astrological calendar. And here we have the Ace of, like I said, the Ace of Chalices, which is upright, and it is very much about emotional outpourings of love, of could also be very spiritually connected to like, well, wakening up very, like on a spiritual level, that something is unfreezing. Ah, okay. Whatever this is here, which was frozen, is going to be unfrozen. This is to do with, I feel, this energy here as well. This is on the deep subconscious, and Neptune is all about the subconscious. It's all about the unknown area of our lives. The root cause, what's kind of where it's all coming up to the surface from, if you like. The root element, what's underneath it all, what we can't see, what we're not aware of. So that's what I'm getting from this energy here, is that there's something, whatever has been frozen is being unfrozen. And the Fool hasn't been able to make this leap, like us, the collective Fool energy. Again, 1st of April is April Fool's Day. So at this time we're kind of stuck in this kind of limbo. Awakening. And then we have the King, straight from the Ace to the King. I mean, that's huge movement. Huge movement forward. And again, it has got a lot of, because we also have the 10 here as well. So this is a lot of emotional, like emotional, what's the word I'm looking for here? Well, deep subconscious emotional, like in the psyche, in the underworld, if you like, in the unknown, that is happening without us realizing what's happening, without us knowing on some deeper level that this is what is taking place. We may be feeling some kind of strangeness at this time. We may be how can you put it? I mean, everybody's going to experience it in different ways, but it is to do with unconditional love, opening ourselves up to unconditional love. And this looks like a 6 and this looks like a 1, which is a bit odd. When I turn it round to the camera, it looks like 61. If I do it that way, it looks like 16, or maybe, yeah, 16. Odd. Anyway, again, yeah, it's this unfreezing and this kind of like celebratory emotional outpouring that is coming our way. And then we have the Lovers straight after. And I feel that this is to do with this deeper sense of realization that love is love. Love is love is love. It's everywhere. It is who we are. It is in everything. Everybody. And it doesn't have to be a sexual attraction. There can just be love on a platonic level, friendship level, or just in that just sense of realizing that everything is that source energy. It is that loving source of everything. And I just feel as though there's this huge kind of awakening and shifting of energies and understanding and growth that is coming through for us here. And it's starting at the time of this new moon in Aries. This is kind of the shifting energy. Just one card. That's a surprise. Okay, so what have we got? Okay. The 2 of Wands and the 5 of Swords. Well, the 2 of Wands is that energy, as I was saying, about looking for inspiration, wanting inspiration, but not really, like feeling stuck inside. And that could be, again, that could be like metaphorically speaking, like symbolically, like she's in that room because she's feeling stuck and she can't go out, even though she probably, all she has to do is to get up and leave the room. But there's this kind of yearning or longing or this sense of symbolically feeling stuck somewhere. And this is covered by the 5 of Swords. So this is, in many ways, this is about us, ourselves, keeping ourselves in that place. And I also feel as well with these 2 wands here that there is going to be this kind of divergence of people's energies, if you like. Some people are going to stay with the old ideas and other people are going to be much more kind of open. And it could, with this Five of Swords, it could cause a lot of conflict, a lot of outer conflict, a lot of arguments, a lot of competition. And we're already seeing that. But it's also like saying that this is kind of an extreme. Because there's also, you see there, there's this little butterfly, this tiny little butterfly here, which is always about transformation. And this character here is kind of focusing his attention on this, while these three here, sorry, two, count right, Colette. These two here are quarrelling and fighting amongst themselves, but he's been distracted by something that is more it's kind of something that's kind of come in, and maybe that is that kind of inspirational something that this person here, or we collectively, are looking for. And it's like, while the rest continue bickering and arguing amongst themselves here, this character here is going to go down a different path. Because interestingly, he also has no swords in his hand either. It's the other two that hold the swords and are actually in confrontation and war. And I suppose it could actually be connected to what is happening at this time when it comes to warring countries. This is future energy, what's coming in. So it could be that a lot of us are just going to kind of not get caught up in that. We're not going to allow ourselves to stay caught up in that energy. We're going to be distracted by other things and go off on a different path, a different route. Just not buy into what we're being told. Not want to be part of the battle. So it almost feels like don't allow yourself to stay caught up in that argumentative, competitive, old paradigm way of doing things, seeing things, being in the world. And that's to do with this victory energy as well. So over the top of the Chariot and the Ace of Swords, we have the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is about nostalgia. It is past energy. Oh, sorry, not the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, the Six of Pentacles. No, the Six of Pentacles is not about nostalgia. Well, on some level it is actually. Because if you see here, these two children are kind of sharing something between them as well. So there is also this compromising energy, but there does also feel like a nostalgic kind of, like he's standing on 5 pentacles under his feet. I don't know if you can see that very well. That's a bit better. You can see there he's got 5 pentacles. He's standing on one in the middle and the other 4 are all around his feet, and he and her are holding this pentacle, which is kind of glowing and shimmering between the two of them. And again, it kind of feels like that sense of that's all old, that's all done. All those 5 pentacles that are on the ground that he's standing on, they're no longer viable, they're no longer valuable, they're not giving off any life force. There's nothing about them that is drawing the attention. And it is with this Chariot, as I was saying, and this Ace of Wands, and it's kind of coming through, sorry, Ace of Swords, and it's coming through, that's the Ace of Swords twice as well, which is interesting. It's coming through, as I was saying about this Ace of Swords, of kind of us going down, back down the way, or feeling like we're going back down the way. Maybe to go and retrieve something that we feel that we've lost, or something that's important that we need to take with us into the future. Possibly to do with knowledge and wisdom, because Pentacles can relate to that kind of knowledge and wisdom that has been learnt. It can also be to do with compromise as well. But I feel more as though it's to do with sharing something that is new. Again, it's that new energy. It feels like something new that is coming to life. And these 2 children here are very aware of the value of what they have, rather than the value of what has been. And again, it's being master of our own destiny with this Chariot here. But that Ace of Swords feels as though we're going down that spiral staircase to retrieve something at this time. Or at least that's how we feel. We feel as though we're going backwards rather than forwards. But it feels like that is a kind of a treasure of some sort that they're holding. Something valuable. A lesson learnt, perhaps. And then we have the Tower and the Star energy with the 8 of Wands, which we also have here as well. So that's the 8 of Wands that has come out twice. And it's come out upright in this particular card. Again, kind of messages, things that are coming in from outside. And it's to do with this amazing conjunction, I feel, this new awareness, understanding, the Tower energy, removing the old, connecting us with the new. And the 8 of Wands It's bringing in those new messages. It's bringing in and it feels like those messages are coming from a higher level, a higher source of energy than what we are necessarily used to. Whereas this is about not ignoring the warnings. I feel as though this is about tuning in to higher messages, connecting on a higher source level. Of messages that are coming in from a higher frequency. That are going to bring in new growth. As you can see, all of those flowers that are blooming on those trees. There's new growth. And connections as well. It's also going to bring in new connections, new directions, new tribes, family, people, creativity. As the old energy with this tower here splits apart. We have the Page of Pentacles over the top of this Eight of Wands and this Seven of Swords. Our hopes and our fears, not ignoring the warnings. That's interesting because this page is holding the same pentacle here that these two children have got in their hand there. This page also is holding the same pentacle. He has come out in reverse, which is why I'm showing it in reverse. But there you can see that it's like this glowing pentacle, this glowing coin. And there it is between the two of them again. So pages, new energy, an energy of planting something new for the future, nurturing something, like taking care of possibly of ourselves as well, like seeing ourselves as the seed that needs to be valued and nurtured and taken care of, but also literally being our future. It's like taking this coin and helping it to grow, helping it to become more than what it already is. But it is in reverse, and it is in our hopes and our fears. So there is this kind of energy of and I'm feeling this as something to do with with children, because the pages can also represent children. And there's one of the flowers here that's literally kind of wrapped itself around. this page. It looks like a towel. If you look at it, it looks like a towel, or it looks like something that's kind of grown up around him. But it is in reverse, and it does feel like something to do with, again, as I was saying, don't ignore the warnings, and it feels like this has got something to do with children. And we all know what's been going on, and I don't really want to kind of talk too much about it or mention it too much, but the problem is going to be for the children and the future of the children, is what I'm getting from that. Like, they are the future, they are the seeds that we plant, that we bring into the physical realm. And because it's come out over the top of what I was saying earlier about don't forget, don't ignore the warnings, and I had no idea that the Page of Pentacles was going to come out over the top of that. It feels very much as though that's what it's saying, is don't ignore the warnings when it comes to what we're being told. And with this Seven of Swords energy there as well, it's kind of a very deceiving energy, a deceitful energy. Dark, shady energy. Shadow energy. It's kind of things done in the dark energy. So, why is the Emperor? The Emperor is there with the Knight of Swords in reverse. And this Knight of Swords, if you can see that, he's actually battling this beast, he's battling this large, this huge bird. He's got his sword kind of going into its beak, into its mouth, but it is in reverse again. The Knight of Swords can talk about sudden movement, sudden changes, things that happen unexpectedly. There is not a lot of sentimentality with the Knight of Swords. It's like when something is decided, when the mind is made up, then the Knight of Swords will move on, and there's no looking back, there's no going back again with the Knight of Swords energy. But again, it's kind of feeling like that warlike, because it's come out with the Emperor, that very masculine Mars, dynamic, action driven energy. And it feels as though, like with this Knight of Swords, he's right on the edge of the precipice there, almost being pushed over the edge. But I am going to pull some more cards on that, because I was expecting more cards to come out than that. So I'm going to just see what the Knight of Swords is about. What's the Knight of Swords there for? What's its message? What's it trying to tell us at this time? It's on the top of the chessboard card as well, the Emperor, kind of not being a chess piece anymore, not allowing ourselves to be moved around the board as chess pieces to suit somebody else, to take our own power back. And we have the Four of Chalices. The Four of Chalices, it is upright, but it's never a happy card. It's a card of sorrow, a card of sadness, and I'm getting a kind of sense of feeling as though you're on your own in this card as well. Like nobody understands how I feel, nobody knows what I'm going through kind of energy. And I think that's very relevant at this time as well, with the South Node in Scorpio being squared by Mars and Saturn. It is a bit like being, or it is going to feel like being in our own private hell. Like a lot of stuff inside, and nobody's going to want to talk about it because Scorpio is very secretive, and that's kind of coming through as that energy of kind of keeping things to ourselves, not wanting to express, not wanting to share our emotions here. Feeling isolated, feeling on our own, feeling as though we're the only ones who are going through what we're going through, when in fact it is the collective in general that are all experiencing these same emotional upheavals at this time as well. And for some people, this energy is going to be a lot easier to connect with and a lot easier to accept, I feel. And for some other people, some people, it's just going to feel like it's bringing up all the demons. Their own personal battles within, own personal demon energy. So, I've just got some new cards, and they're called Messages of Life, and I'm really pleased with them. So I thought I would use them for the first time in this new moon in Aries reading. Talking of new, my new cards for the new moon in the first house of Aries. To see what we get here. They are beautiful cards. So far it kind of feels as though there is this how can I put it, these two different, and I think this is the North and the South Node energies as well, but these two kind of different directions, or like where we're putting our focus of attention at this time, or divisions actually is what I want to say. Divisions. There's two divisions that are taking place here. And one is very much the more Saturn energy, the Saturn South Node, North Node energy. Focus of attention, or being more affected by that energy purely because maybe your astrology is linked into that energy in a stronger way. And then there's others who are more affected or going to be more connected to the Neptune Jupiter energy as well. But of course it also depends on whether you're focusing on the lower or the higher vibration of those energies as well, because Saturn can be very rewarding with his energy as the hard taskmaster. He does also bring in lessons to learn, and of course it does depend a lot as well on the lifestyle that we have lived as to how we are going to be affected by that energy. Saturn being very much to do with the karmic side of things. And of course Neptune has its own lower vibrational energy as well, where we can be much more connected to the more kind of deception side of Neptune, and also the victimization side of Neptune as well. So that could also be very big at this time as well. So it does depend as to where our focus of attention is going to be. Are we focusing on the lower vibrational energies or the higher vibrational energies of these particular astrological alignments? And these are big alignments as well. Huge alignments. I mean, Neptune and Saturn. Not Neptune and Saturn, Neptune and Jupiter, sorry. The last time they met together was 166 years ago. So it's not something that happens every few years or so. So let's see. Card please, or cards source for this Aries new moon. There we go. Thank you. What have we got? Love appears. It says, I renounce my pain and release my resistance. Today I choose to reside in the light of my being. I rise up boldly and ask for the understanding that will free me of my duality. My prayers are heard and God sends angelic help so that love and peace find their way to me. When I open my eyes, love appears. Which is interesting because, as I said earlier, with this energy down here in the subconscious, love is love is love. It's everywhere. And we're kind of going to experience that, I feel, on a much higher level. So that's the card. They're huge, in fact, really long cards, but very beautiful. And of course, like, God can also be replaced with universe or source energy, however it resonates for you individually. So that is the message for this Aries new moon. I'm going to leave it there and say thank you very much to those of you who have listened to my reading, and If you have enjoyed it, if you've got anything from it, if you have learnt anything from it, please could you thumbs it up for me. Just give it a like, because it does make a huge difference. I know people don't tend to see that as being relevant, but it really is. It's why all YouTubers go on about it, bang on about it all the time. Like, thumbs up the videos. Also, for those of you who have done that, thank you very much. I really, really do appreciate it, because it really does just make that difference. And also, if you want to leave me a comment, that would be really helpful as well, because that also lets this platform know that you are listening to my videos, interacting with my videos, and it just kind of gives the platform some information about my channel, which I am trying to grow. I know I haven't been doing as much as I could have been. I actually have Saturn squaring my Sun at this moment, so things are not the easiest. That's at least my excuse, and I'm going to stick to that one, because Saturn is, like I said, the hard task master. So it's not making my life easy. And I've also got the North Node conjunct my Sun coming up as well. So a little bit of my astrology there for you. So I am doing the new moons and all the full moons. I am going to try and get all of the 2022 readings out as well. I'm still working on them. And also the actual zodiac signs, like on a more regular basis as well. I am going to get back into doing much more of that as well. So if you are interested in any of that, please could you also subscribe to my channel, because that also helps it to grow, and share my videos as well. There is a subscription button on the video that you can just tap, and that little bell will come out, and you can decide as and whether you want to get my videos or know when my videos are coming out. So thank you all very much again. I hope you have a really inspiring new moon. For those of you who are interested, set your intention for this new moon, because it is a big energy to really kickstart things for 2022. So I'm going to leave it there and just wish you all the best, and I'll see you again hopefully very soon. Take care.